drops new album.
And in sport, LA Lakers victory level series with Portland Trail Blazers.
Details of these and more after this break. I am Omaya Ogbeide. And the federal government has approved the sum of 13 billion naira for the takeoff of community policing initiative across the country. The approval is part of measures aimed at containing the security situation in the country. The senior special assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laulu Akonde, disclosed this in a statement on Thursday. Akonde said, based on the approval, the National Economic Council at its virtual meeting on Thursday and chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo resolved that the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Kayode Fayemi, with two other governors, meet with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, and the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, to coordinate the proper utilization of the funding of the initiative. Akonde said the council also received the presentation from Chairman, National Economic Council Ad Hoc Committee on Security and Policing. And the federal government says Edo Modular Refinery project, which is 95% completed in Ologbo, Ikpoba local government area of Edo State, will attract more investment in modular refineries in Nigeria, generate employment and reduce youth restlessness in the Niger Delta region. The 6,000 barrel per day modular refinery is one of the projects by the administration of Governor Godwin Obaseki that is near completion. Senior Special Assistant to the President of Niger Delta Affairs, Edobo Yamu, who spoke during an inspection visit to the refinery, commended the Edo State government for ensuring that the modular refinery comes on stream. He said the establishment of the refinery in the state is in line with the new vision of the Niger Delta of ensuring that the people benefit maximally from the wealth in the region. Iyamu added that the project is aimed at promoting the establishment of modular refinery projects in the area to attract investment into the oil and gas sector. Chairman Edo Refinery and Petrochemical Company, Michael Osime, represented by the company's global advisor, France Ojelu, says the company is being supported by Edo State government with a 700 million naira project support fund. He said the 6,000 barrels per day plant also has a fabrication yard to boost local capacity to produce materials and produce a robust support for establishment of more modular refineries. Osime added that discussions are ongoing with Ambrose Lee University to assist in training Nigerians for the oil and gas industries. And the Nigerian Commissioner and Chairman of Information and Voter Education Committee of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Festus Okoye, has warned politicians to desist from political violence and other activities that could lead to the postponement of the September 19 governorship election in Edo State. He said rescheduling the poll was unsafe as it would lead to a constitutional crisis that may be difficult to resolve. The INEC Commissioner was speaking at a one-day sensitization workshop for journalists on electoral processes and procedures in Benin City on Thursday.
Partnership with the media is critical in the preparation and delivery of the Commission's messages and programs to the Nigerian people. We therefore implore you to take time and understand and understudy the powers of the Independent National Electoral Commission within the context and ambit of the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and the regulations and guidelines, as well as the manuals put in place by the Commission for the smooth conduct of elections. As we have pointed out, the Edo and Ondo governorship elections are end-of-tenure elections with strict and immovable constitutional and legal timelines. All stakeholders must therefore conduct their activities in a manner that does not jeopardize the elections.
Okoye said no political party would be allowed to use violence, money, and intimidation to truncate the will of the people.
The Commission is conducting the Edo and Ondo governorship elections and 15 outstanding by-elections within the context of COVID-19 pandemic that has substantially altered the previous ways of doing things. The Commission has also responded timely, creatively, and innovatively to the pandemic by offering the modus operandi of conducting elections. Within this context, therefore, the Commission designed and released its policy of conducting elections within the context of COVID-19 pandemic. The Commission has also released the first supplementary to regulations and guidelines for the conduct of elections, as well as supplementary regulations and guidelines for the activities of political parties.
part, Edo State Resident Electoral Commissioner Johnson Alalibo explained that the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country has changed the narrative on the processes and procedures of conducting the election.
And timely for the Commission to come up with this kind of workshop where those who are reporting the events of election undergo a workshop on the processes and procedures of the conduct of the election. Pertinent to note that the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic has changed the narrative. There is a shift on the processes and procedures of conducting elections.
At the event, Chairman of Nigerian Union of Journalists, Edo State Council, Sir Roland Osakwe, represented by the Secretary of the Union, Comrade Titus Akigbe, assured that journalists were ready for the exercise. And the Ojurami of Uromi, His Royal Highness Anselm Adenoje II, on Thursday, received candidate of the People's Democratic Party and Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Comrade Philip Shuaibu, in his palace in Uromi, Asan North-East local government area of the state, and offered royal blessings for their re-election bid. The traditional ruler, who listed the various developmental projects executed by the Obaseki-led administration in Uromi, assured the governor that Uromi people will show their appreciation with their votes on September 19. The monarch hailed the governor for his reinstallation to the throne after he was suspended by former Governor Adams Oshiomhole. The traditional ruler also lauded Obaseki for the love shown to Asan people through various political appointments, especially for the role played to ensure their son, Frank Okiye, was elected Speaker of Edo House of Assembly. He said the governor has tarred 10 roads in Uromi and brought the College of Agriculture, Water and other developmental projects, and the only way to thank him is through the effective use of the permanent voters' cards. Reaffirming his administration's commitment to bring in more developmental projects to the area, the governor assured that before the end of the year, Ahoje Stadium in Uromi will be upgraded to a standard mini stadium. He also assured that Casavita factory in the council will be given attention. And wife of the governor of Edo State, Betsy Obaseki, has urged residents of the state to be ready to exercise their franchise and not be intimidated by those who are boasting that they will use federal might to their advantage in the forthcoming election. The Edo State First Lady gave the assurance on Thursday in Benin City, the state capital, when leaders of tricycle drivers and motorcycle riders in the 3 senatorial districts of the state paid her a courtesy call in Government House. According to her, President Muhammadu Buhari will not be party to illegality, as he is a law-abiding citizen who loves the people and will not put the interest of a few lawless individuals above that of the majority. She encouraged the people to go out to cast their ballots on the day of election, as by doing that they are determining the future of the state. Earlier, the leaders of the Tricycle Riders Union, led by Omorodion, commended the transformation in the state, particularly as it concerns the welfare of citizens and the eradication of thuggery in the commercial transportation subsector. He said they were on the visit to officially endorse the governor for a second term in office, as they are pleased with what he has done so far. And the People's Democratic Party in Edo State has raised an alarm over what they call a politically motivated deployment of the State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Adeyinka Ayinla. In a statement signed by the State Publicity Secretary and Chairman, Subcommittee on Media and Publicity, Edo 2020 Campaign Council, Chris Nehikare, the party said it totally rejects the deployment of Ayinla to the state in the run-up to the polls scheduled for September 19, 2020. According to him, the Edo PDP remains committed to a peaceful, free and fair governorship election on September 19, but were, however, taken aback by the resolve of the All Progressives Congress to win the election by all means foul. The statement alleged that the posting by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, is politically motivated and a plot to rig the governorship election. The Publicity Secretary further alleged that the new state commandant is an ally of the leader of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and has worked closely with him in the past. He further noted that the party's findings showed that the new NSCDC head is of a rank that is above his new posting as state commandant. The party said its suspicion further heightened, knowing that only 1 week Nigerians watched a short video of a former national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, telling the Chief of Staff to President Buhari to arrest some people. They are therefore calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to call his party men to order, as Edo people want their votes to count and they are prepared to defend their votes. And KFM News continues right after this break. Do stay with us. News. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Ahmed Ali, has cautioned that the World Trade Organization WTO agreement and the African Free Trade Agreement recently signed by Nigeria will impact negatively on the country's revenue generation drive in the coming years. The Customs Comptroller General gave the warning on Thursday while presenting his agency's projection on the medium-term expenditure framework for 2021 to 2023 to the Senate. Ali said the two agreements will allow goods to come into Nigeria at zero tariffs. He said this situation will, in addition to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, adversely affect Nigeria's revenue. Ali said despite this situation, the Customs Service has generated 837 billion naira as of July 2020. In making projections for 2021, the Customs boss said the agency hopes to generate a total revenue of 1.46 trillion naira. This will include import and export of all special levies. According to him, in 2022, Customs eyes a total revenue of 1.704 trillion naira and 1.756 trillion naira in 2023. And the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on Thursday disclosed that it would hand over 3,999 tons of cereal to the federal government of Nigeria on Friday. The Commissioner for Finance, ECOWAS, Halima Ahmed, disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja. According to her, the handover ceremony will take place at Hotoro ECOWAS Grain Depot in Kano State. She added that this was part of the food security and community. The community has pledged to provide for its neighboring states and to eliminate the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the people of the region. The grains will be taken from the stock in the ECOWAS Regional Food Security Reserve, partly warehoused with the Federal Strategic Reserve Department, and distributed free of charge to the households most affected by the humanitarian situation in Nigeria. And the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, on Thursday in Abuja announced that the Nigerian power industry achieved another improved all-time national peak of 5,420.03 megawatts. The transmission company noted that the gradual but steady improvement in electricity delivery in the nation's power sector was attributable to the keen interest of government. It said this was as a result of the government's ability to pilot the programs and projects geared towards growing the power sector, as well as the collective efforts of all power sector players in the value chain. TCN, in a bid to further stabilize, rehabilitate and expand the grid, urged Nigerians to lend their support by safeguarding electricity installations nationwide. And the Nigerian Bar Association has withdrawn its invitation to Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai following protests from some lawyers. The NBA said this in a tweet on Thursday via its Twitter handle. A petition to stop the governor from attending the annual general conference, which was started by lawyer Usani Odum, has garnered over 3,150 signatures as of 4 p.m. on Thursday. In a separate letter addressed to the chairman, Technical Committee and Conference Planning, NBA Professor Koinsola Ajayi, some lawyers said the governor must not be allowed to speak at the conference. The letter, which was signed by Silas Onu and Autan Nyada, listed 10 allegations against El-Rufai and his son Bello El-Rufai, who is a special advisor to Kaduna Central lawmaker Senator Umba Sani. The NBA virtual conference, which holds from August 24th to 26, 2020, is expected to have Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, in attendance. An All Christian Association of Nigeria has rejected the Companies and Allied Matters Act, KAMA 2020, stating that it would snuff life out of the church and rank the church as a secular institution under secular control. President Muhammadu Buhari had on August 7th signed into law the KAMA bill. The bill, which has been passed by the National Assembly, replaced the 1990 KAMA bill. The Christian body condemned the section of the law which empowers the supervising minister to suspend trustees of an association and appoints the interim managers to manage the affairs of the association for some given reasons. Khan, in a statement signed on Thursday by Adebayo Oladeji, Special Assistant on Media and Communications to Khan President Reverend Samson Ayokunle, noted that the federal government has declared war on the church if it moved on to implement the law. Khan therefore called on Buhari to stop the implementation of the intolerable law until the religious institutions are exempted from it and return the law to the National Assembly for immediate amendment. And coming up in a moment in entertainment news, Fireboy DML drops new album. This and more on entertainment news. News break on KU 92.7 FM Benin City, and in some entertainment stories, Nigerian singer-songwriter Fireboy DML has finally released the long-awaited second studio album Apollo. The 17-track album includes Ellie, Tattoo, and New York City Girl, as well as appearances from D-Smoke, Wonderco, and Olamide. The album was released midnight on Thursday and was announced on the singer's Twitter account. Last year, Fireboy DML released his debut album, Laughter, Tears, and Goosebumps. Omotola Jalade Kende's son, Captain E, has been nominated for a music award. Captain E has been nominated for the Under 25 Music Category Award. Sometimes in June 2020, Captain E released new music weeks after Omotola announced her readiness to embrace music again. The singer and producer released his second single in 2020 after promising to keep dishing out more music in 2020. Entitled Craze, the new song was released earlier in the week. According to a church statement from Captain E, the new song talks about a never-ending circle of modern toxic relationship. Netflix has removed the promotional image which showed girls posing in skimpy outfits in a film called Cuties. The poster for the French drama, along with a trailer, had sparked online disapproval and a petition calling for Netflix to drop it. The award-winning drama follows an 11-year-old who joins a dance group. Netflix said it was deeply sorry for the inappropriate artwork. The streaming giant also said the original poster was not an accurate representation of the film. And that's it from entertainment. And in sports, Anthony Davis top scored for the Los Angeles Lakers to beat the Portland Trail Blazers 111-88 to level their Western Conference playoff series at the 1-1 in Orlando, Florida. This and more on our Sports Decks.
Good morning and welcome to Sport News. I'm Sanofi Francis. The Los Angeles Lakers beat the Portland Trail Blazers 111 to 88 points to level their Western Conference Playoff Series at 1-0 in Orlando, Florida. Anthony Davis top scored for the Lakers with 31 points in their first postseason win since the 2012 semifinals. Portland star player Damian Lillard dislocated his finger during the loss, but is expected to play in Game 3. In the Eastern Conference Playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks beat Orlando Magic 111 to 96 points to make that series 1-0. Last season's MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 28 points and made a game high of 20 rebounds for the Bucks. That's where the Miami Heat overcame Indiana Pacers 109 to 100 points in the other Eastern Conference Playoff Round 1 series to take a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 contest. In the Western Conference, James Harden led the Houston Rockets to a 111 to 98 win over the Oklahoma City Thunder to their second win of the series. Away from the court to the ring, where Anthony Joshua says Alexander Povetkin is seriously scared and does not believe Dillian White can match his destructive victory over the Russian heavyweight. Joshua overcame a torrid start to stop Povetkin in the 7th round of their world title fight at Wembley and will be at ringside to watch the former WBA champions clash with Dillian White on Saturday night. Meanwhile, White revealed he could target a ruthless early win at Thursday's final press conference, but Joshua has suggested that his British rival will have to work much harder than he did to overcome Povetkin. Joshua was beaten by White as an amateur, then defeated him by stoppage in the professional ranks, and promoter Eddie Hearn has also suggested that the duo could meet again next year. And that's it from sports. I'm Sanofi Francis. Back to you, Omoye.
And that's the news, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. Federal government's delegation inspects Edo Modular Refinery. INEC warns politicians against violence and electoral malpractice. NBA withdraws conference invitation to Governor El-Rufai. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Coronavirus is real. Wash your hands regularly with soap under running water. Use your face masks while in public places and stay safe. Here FM's news break was produced by Nusahai Wadiai. I am Omoya Wades and thanks for listening. Good morning.